Susie French. Hi. Hi, Bev. Welcome, possums. Welcome back to Lockdown Kitchen. I'm just getting Madge, my assistant. There we go. Good girl. Here's Madge. Say hi, everyone. Hi, Izzy. Thanks for joining. Does everyone like Daisy's chef's hat and her apron? Isn't she just so cute? Okay, Madge. Thanks for saying hi. Hi from Hoi An as well. Woohoo! Okay, we'll take that off, Daisy. There we go, all off. Okay, that was a bit stressful for Daisy, but she's happy to have it all off. So, just washing my hands. So, possums, today we're doing an Australian recipe. Doing Aussie meat pies. Okay, so I'm just putting the saucepan on to heat up. Cut up 3 onions. Hi, Shemaine from Singapore. Or hi, Possum. How you going? So I've just cut up some onions like that. Putting a bit of olive oil in the pot. 2 or 3 teaspoons. Or tablespoons, sorry. Better get my stuff together. And putting the onions in. Boom. Just letting them cook on a really high heat. Hi, Hillary. Hi, Possums. How are you? Thanks, Bev. Hi, Uncle G from Singapore. How you doing, Possum? So, darlings, I should say darlings, I've got the onions on cooking. Then I'm going to add the beef. Making Australian meat pie. 3 onions and a bowl of beef. Thanks, Hillary. We want the onions and the beef to colour a bit, which is going to give us the colour for the sauce of a meat pie. Now, Australian meat pies, adding the meat, give that a stir around. That's just going to cook for a few minutes. So, Australian meat pies are very Australian and very famous, and in Australia we eat them for lunch when we don't have time to sit down and have a meal. Like, so lots of builders, everybody at the football has a meat pie, and in Australia the slang for a meat pie is actually dog's eye and dead horse. Yum. Yuck. So they're very famous. The first bakery that ever made a meat pie, which is now the 4 and 20 pies, was from Bendigo, which is where Uncle G's from. Hi, possums. Isabella and Christoph. Hi. So yes, that's where Uncle G's from. That was in 1947. However, somebody in South Australia claims that they made meat pies back in 1891. So they've been doing them longer. Just stirring that again. We want that meat and onion to take on a lot of colour. 1947, correct. Thanks Uncle G from Bendigo. Done my study. So anyway, apparently the Greeks started making pies back in 9,500 BC. And back in the early days they were called coffins because of the pastry encasing the meat, like a coffin. Okay? Go Bendigo, says Uncle G. Okay, so I'm actually making a pie in my little pie dish. Like that. I don't like a lot of pastry personally, so I'm just going to make a pie case on the top. Okay? Now the other ingredients that we put in the meat pie, very easy. A beef stock cube. Put that in. Bit of salt and pepper. like a teaspoon. For anybody that missed the start of tonight, please watch it later because Daisy features. I put in about half a cup, or half a cap, I should say, of black pepper. Okay, you can make lots and lots of different pies. You can make steak and pepper, steak and onion, steak and mushroom, steak and kidney. You can do chicken and broccoli, chicken, mushroom and sage, chicken and vegetable, all sorts of things. Vegetarian, whatever you like, okay? I thought I'd make the most classic recipe, which is just the good old Aussie meat pie. So that's colouring nicely. The other two ingredients we put in is tomato sauce, or ketchup, and this stuff, Worcester sauce. Well, I say Worcestershire, but you know, I'm a bit different. I could never pronounce things properly. So, just a great meat pie, yeah. So, anyway, let me tell you a bit about my glasses. These are Dame Edna Everage glasses, which I'm sure everyone from Australia knows who I'm talking about. Worcester sauce, yes, I know, but I prefer Worcestershire, just sort of more fun. Whoops, bra strap. Narelle, Possum, how are you? Just talking about Australia, love. Just saying that the Australians will know who Dame Edna is and Barry Humphries, and I've actually cooked for him 4 times here in the south of France. So let me tell you about that because it's quite funny. So the next thing we put in the meat pie, the onions and beef are cooked, salt and pepper's in, beef cube, is some flour. So I'm putting in about 3 tablespoons of flour, maybe a little bit more, but 3 will do. But remember, I'm just making a small quantity. So I'm just stirring it around so that the flour combines into the fat and the juices, and then it cooks out like a roux, which is R-O-U-X, which is part of, you know, it's a classic French technique for thickening things. Okay, so into that I'm just adding some water, just enough to cover the meat, because that's going to make all your lovely sauce or your gravy. Okay, so that's enough. So I'm just, as you can see, that's just all going to stir in to be combined. Make sure you scrape the bottom because there's going to be lots of flour bits and tasty bits on the bottom that you want to work back into the sauce. Okay, and then in that you can either put tomato sauce or tomato paste. I've got a bit of tomato paste that needs using up, so I'm going to put that in, plus a bit of sauce. So just give it a good old, sounds like that, good, eh? Darlings. Okay, and then a bit of this stuff that I'm not going to pronounce again. And then just stir it up till it's all combined. And that's it. So all you do is bring that to the boil, turn it down to a simmer, put a lid on it, and let it cook for 1 or 2 hours until it's tender. And that's it. Don't forget, stir it every 15 minutes or so because it's a sauce with flour in it. It will start sticking to the bottom. Okay, so don't forget that. So, all right, back to Barry Humphries. So, the first time I ever met him was so funny because I was in the kitchen preparing dinner for somebody I cook for here, and he just saunters into the kitchen with his boxer shorts on and a singlet to make a cup of tea and have some bickies. Anyway, he just starts telling me all these hilarious things, and I thought, I had no idea it was him because I had no idea he was staying there, and I just thought, gosh, he reminds me of somebody. And I was like, for about half an hour I was thinking, who is it, who is it, who is it? Because of course he looked very different from the last time I saw him. He's aged and, you know, he didn't have his purple wig on or anything. So anyway, about half an hour I said to the lady of the house, I said, you know, your guest really reminds me of Barry Humphries. And she said, well, that's because it is. And I was like, oh, okay. And this particular lady I cook for, she's a bit special, and she has a bell fitted under her table. and she rings the bell that sounds in the kitchen like Avon calling when I'm allowed to go to the table. So anyway, once I found out it was him, I thought, right, I'm going to start hamming it up. So when I took out his entree, I was like, would you like another drink, Possum? So he thought that was hilarious. And over the years, I cooked for him quite a few times. One night he had a white tux on with pink socks, and I'd seen purple gladiolos in the supermarket that day. And I didn't buy them because somebody said to me that you shouldn't be, you know, too funny with a comedian. But it's my biggest regret today that I didn't buy that bunch of purple gladiola, I tell you. So anyway, years later, these glasses were given to me by Betty. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Emily. I've just been at the pool with your mum. So years later, someone gave these to me, Betty in Geelong. Fantastic, loved them. And I knew I was cooking for him that night, so I wore them. And there was a table of 14 dinner guests. And I walked out of the kitchen with the entree, because I did all the serving, everything. You know, it's like a slave. Excuse me, dry cough. No, it's not really. I just need water. So I serve him his plate. His wife looks across. She's sitting across the other side of the table, looks across at me and just starts laughing hysterically and says, quick, 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 let's take a photo and put it on Instagram. And I thought, brilliant. Anyway, he loved them so much. Barry Humphrey said to me, he said, oh, Possum, he said, do you mind if I come in the kitchen with you and we do a few selfies? So I thought that was hilarious. Water. Oh, Grant's saying drink wine, not water. Later, later, later. So that was really funny. And he's just such a lovely man. He's so intelligent. He just has the whole table in stitches, just telling all these stories. And I must tell you a couple of stories. Have we got time? Yes, we have. Must tell you a couple of stories about him. When he was an adolescent in Melbourne. Now, these are pretty funny stories. You might be a bit freaked out by them. Just by the way, I'll keep cooking and talking at the same time. This is the pie mixture I made this morning. I've been a good girl and I made 2 lots. So all I'm doing is putting some meat mixture into the pie tin like that. I can't see very well with these glasses on. So I'm missing the corner. Okay, there we go. Tonight's mix that I'm making, I'm just going to pop that in the freezer for when Isabella and I are allowed to see each other again, and then we can have a meat pie party. Okay, so just put it in like that. Then I get the puff pastry from the fridge. Excuse me. Okay. They just come out like that. It's such a great thing. Right, with another pie dish, I'm just going to cut around the edge with a little bit extra for overlapping. Like that. Okay, so it's a bit bigger than the pie. With your hand, just put a tiny bit of water around the edge like that. You can use an egg wash if you want to, but why waste an egg when you can use a bit of water? So that'll just help the pastry stick. So we can get rid of that. We'll put the pastry, oh no, we leave that there, we need that. And just put that over, like that. Tuck the edges in. Okay, just like a little parcel there. Just tucking them under and sticking them under with that little bit of water that's there. Okay, and that's all there is to it. In a minute, I'll do a pretty decoration on top. Just checking this. It's starting to stick, so it needs a really good stir. Make sure you stir it from the bottom upwards, scraping it along the bottom. Get all the yummy bits off. Okay, so I'm turning that down to 2, putting the lid on, and then forgetting about it for a while. Okay, now back to the stories. So, this is Barry, right? In his 20s or late teens. Loves performing, loves acting. So what he does is he dresses as a tramp, as a street beggar. Okay? Buys a chicken and a bottle of champagne, a roast chicken, a barbecue chicken, poulet rôti, and he plants them in a bin next to a bus stop. So he waits for everybody to start queuing for the bus till there's a long line, and then he saunters over and starts going through the bin and pulls out this chicken and just starts eating it, opens the champagne, has a big skull, and, you know, everyone in the queue's just like, you know, this is back in 1950s in Melbourne. Hilarious. So, pretty funny man. And another story, which is quite sick, really. It's really gross. Every time he used to fly on Ansett, or TAA, he used to buy a Russian salad. For those of you who don't know what a Russian salad is, it's like chopped up potatoes, carrots, and things in a mayonnaise binding sauce. So he'd buy a container of Russian salad, get the sick bag out from the back of the seat, pour that in the sick bag, and then once the flight took off, he'd pretend to vomit. He'd be like, "Bleh," and then he'd get it out and eat the whole lot. And what he called it was a chunder chain reaction. And he always did it so an air hostess would see him. So she'd start throwing up, and then the pilot would be throwing up within minutes. So that's pretty funny. Anyway, back to the pie. Enough of possums and darlings and all that. And pavlovas. Oh, other Australian famous dishes, by the way. Lamingtons, Chico rolls, Tim Tams, Vegemite, pavlova. They're all ours. Anzac biscuits. So what I might do in a couple of weeks, Isabella's laughing. I'm sure Christoph will like that story. What I'm going to do in a couple of weeks is I'll actually make a chicken parmigiana, but I'll make one using turkey because I've got turkey in the freezer. So I thought that could be fun. It's one of my favourite dishes in the world. Okay, so what I do with the scrap pastry is I make some roses and some leaves. Now this is just so easy to do. So all you do is you just cut a shape like that, which looks like a leaf, and you stick it on. And then another one. Okay, like that. Loving the glasses. Hi Louisa, hi Possum, how you going? Had a good day? So as you can see, I've put the two leaves there, and then all you do is you press the knife in like that, in the middle. It's really hard to see, I know, with the light. I'll take a photo of this and post it on Instagram before I cook it. Okay, and then I just do little presses there as well, so it looks like the structure of a leaf, like a bay leaf. Okay, as I said, I'll take a photo. I know it's hard to see. Control if you were pink. Oh. Well, the only thing I'm missing really is like some pearls and a purple wig, Stephanie. So that's why I'm wearing a purple apron instead and a purple outfit. So with this leftover bit then, just slice a couple of strips like that. Okay, then all you do is you just roll it up, and as you roll it, leave one side coming out, and you just make little roses. Okay, so that's really easy. So then you've got a pie, you can see, with rose and leaves. Okay, so just again, I'll make another one. Start with a smaller bit in the middle, just roll it around 2 or 3 times. Okay, and then when you start getting further out, you just see you've got a nice little flower. Okay, so we can put 2 on, make a little bunch. Okay, and that's it. So really easy. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining, everybody. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Please watch the start. Daisy's in a full chef's outfit. She looks adorable. That was made by Isabella for her birthday last year, which was lovely. So anyway, thank you very much, and hope you enjoyed the glasses and the stories. See you tomorrow for Vietnamese soup with tofu. Okay, ciao. Bye,